Where are you guys from? West Lothian. Right, okay, what do you... Somebody's got to stay there. Well, my fingers are there. I lost them in Linlithgow. So I cut them off in Linlithgow and they went down a drain. So if you ever find them, can I have them?
Stuart, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's a bit daunting being in the actual venue where I'm going to be soon. So apart from that, I'm doing well. I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying touring and everything's going well at the moment.
Tips not included, your
Yes.
new show. Tell us all about it.
First of all, it's a bit of a pun in my fingers. My tips not included. So sorry to put everyone off their dinner straight away. My show's all about a childhood accident that happened when I was 4 years old. So I had a siver that fell on my hand, and really how that evolved into my mum and my dad's situation. And I had a bit of a tragic upbringing, and I felt that it was very important to, the best comedy comes out of tragedy, and from that, tips not included, the accident, all the way through to, unfortunately, being an orphan, but I was 32, it wasn't as if I was 5 or something like that.
You have a 4-year-old daughter, you're constantly checking all her fingers are there intact every night.
Absolutely. Well, she knows. She keeps it every time we pass a drain, she'll point and say, Daddy's fingers, Daddy's fingers.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, I wish.
You help people with their debt or claim benefits. Right, what, MD? So what could I get? Because I'm missing the tips of my fingers, look. I know, I used to be a professional tin-pin bowler, and I can't...
Your show, though, is about, as you've mentioned, finding light in the darkness. Is this something that you always kind of wanted to do?
So I lost my mum when I was 7, unfortunately, and due to mental health, and that really wasn't spoken about 30 years ago, really, in terms of how open people are with mental health, and maybe not the support as well that you can get these days. Back 30 years ago, it wasn't really, there was a stigma attached to mental health. So lost my mum at 7, and then unfortunately my dad passed away as well when he was 61, when I was 32. And with my show, it's normally about a dead dad or a dead mum. With me, you get 2 for 1. So there's so much death in my family. You walk into the Undertaker's and he's like, same again, Stuart. That's what it's like. God, my mum died when she was 36. My dad died when he was 61. So I think my life expectancy, I'm due to die last Tuesday, but we'll see.
Still going.
We'll see how long. It's this venue, the Armadillo, is very sentimental because I saw Jimmy Carr in here. This was the last gig I went to with my dad before, unfortunately, I lost him. Yeah,
Was your dad a big comedy fan?
Yeah, he was a big comedy fan. Unfortunately, he never got to see me, I would say, at my prime. So he probably thought, Christ, I hope he doesn't give up his day job, sort of thing.
Your comedy is huge on social media. How do you go from doing social media videos at home to performing somewhere like this? It must be a bit of a different beast.
People are taking a punt on 90 seconds online. That's all I do here, by the way. I do 90 seconds and I just walk off.
Get your money's worth.
That's right, Bill. You love the 90 seconds, that's all you're getting. 1 million people a week watch my clips, which is surreal to me. I can't believe that when you walk in these theatres, these people have seen you online and they've come to see you live. I still can't really get my head round that.
I think we find that with quite a lot of comedians. They're often quite shy off stage. Do you find that?
Oh yeah. I'm a bit boring off stage. My wife always says, like, you're in the supermarket or something and someone will say, oh, you're Stuart Mitchell, and the switch goes and I just all of a sudden like, it's just like, what is that all about?
What is the next thing? What else is on that bucket list?
So I'm looking at a book at the moment, so I'm looking at a sort of autobiography of my life, sort of off the back of the show, I guess, but in more detail in terms of there's some sort of other things that aren't in the show that I think is very important to share with people in terms of key learnings. Big things happening next year as well, opening my own comedy club in Glasgow. That's going to be exciting.
Wow.
In terms of just capitalising on the people that are coming along. I would genuinely I'd love to write a sitcom, not necessarily star in it, but my very best mate in comedy is Richard Gadd, who got into TV through comedy, and I always knew with the work ethic that he would make it, and we're still very good friends, which is important because sometimes when things happen that can break off, but it hasn't. And so I would like to get in. I'm not saying give me a Netflix sort of thing. I would never. If they're offering me.
So you had a career that you maybe weren't so happy in banking.
Yeah. So I was in banking thanks for bringing that up.
Sorry, PTSD.
Thanks for bringing that up. I was earning a lot of money. I had the sports car. I had the fancy apartment. I had everything I wanted, but there was a real hole inside me, and it was probably the darkest, unhappiest place I ever was, and then I gave that up And believe it or not, I worked for an end-of-life charity after that. And people may see me and think, oh, he's been doing comedy full-time. I only left my job this year. I was in end-of-life care for 15 years. Can you imagine me in end-of-life care? You know? In all seriousness, I loved working in end-of-life care because you were really doing something in the charity sector that meant so much to people in that sort of final journey of their life. And when you speak to people at end of life, all the same messages are coming through. The regret that they never spent more time with their family, the regret they weren't there with their kids, and the regret that they worked too hard. And I'll not let that happen to me. But Dad used to always say, he used to say, do you know, you can have less money in your pocket but be the richer man. And I think for me that's sort of a great phrase in life.